Hey everybody, Nick Espinosa, your chief security fanatic here, and today we are talking about two different major antivirus platforms or applications that you need to stop using right now. I'm not kidding. This is insane, and if this is where the industry is going, I should probably just retire at this point. This is just absolutely nuts. Holy cow. Talk about insane here. Now, basically, these are two different stories coming from two different publications about two different major antiviruses that basically are infecting you. Now, infecting isn't 100% accurate, but you're going to see where I'm going here because I'm definitely in the ballpark by saying that they are infecting you, oftentimes with your knowledge, but not quite with your knowledge, and you'll see what I mean. Now, as I mentioned, this is two different sources, and the first one we're going to start with is from Wired, the publication, obviously about tech, and we are talking about Norton Antivirus. Now, here's what's going on. Several months ago, Norton Antivirus, the antivirus giant, snuck a crypto miner into its consumer software, as noted by author and digital rights activist Cory Doctorow earlier, basically in this week. And that is obviously a huge problem. Crypto mining obviously essentially turns your computer into a crypto miner to mine for cryptocurrency. And there's a lot that goes into this. Now, the pitch basically from Norton is that you can opt in to letting Norton mine cryptocurrency on your computer while you're not using it. Basically, your computer goes idle, it'll kick in and start mining cryptocurrency. The software will even set up a secure wallet for you, all for a mere 15% of whatever you make. You make $100, they get 15. That's what we're talking about here. Now, to be clear, and I will explain this in detail, you should not do this. Nor should you have Norton to begin with, but if you have Norton, you should not do this. Now, crypto mining introduces, and I'll talk about this, a level of complexity and potential security issues for users who really honestly don't know what they're getting into. Some Norton customers have also reported issues with turning these features on after they've opted in. So Norton Antivirus is essentially putting in a crypto miner into your computer and saying, hey, this is great. They're marketing it to you. And you're saying, well, yeah, sure, I want to get on this crypto craze. You're turning it on to disastrous results, potentially. That is Norton. The next one actually comes from Brian Krebs of Krebs on Security. And I'm quoting Mr. Krebs very heavily here because, quite frankly, oftentimes he says it so succinctly. I'm just such a fan. The next one we're talking about is Avira Antivirus. They have basically built a base of 500 million users worldwide because they essentially make it free. I've used Avira Antivirus free, especially their emergency boot disks on occasion. I mean, it's always been there. But here's the thing, they were recently bought by the same parent company that owns Norton, specifically Norton 360, which is their antivirus product, and they are introducing their customers now to a service called Avira Crypto. Now, like Norton 360, Avira comes with a crypto miner already installed, but customers actually have to opt into the service to use it, just like Norton. Avira, their FAQ, their frequently asked questions on crypto mining services, according to Brian Krebs, is quote unquote somewhat sparse. So for example, it doesn't specify how much the parent company Norton LifeLock gets out of the deal. As you recall, I just mentioned Norton 360 says they're taking 15%. So it stands to reason it's probably Avira, but they do not specify on Avira's site. Norton LifeLock, the parent company, hasn't yet responded to requests for comment. So obviously it's unclear whether Avira uses the same crypto mining code as Norton Crypto. Makes sense that they would, but there are clues that suggest that is indeed the case, according to Brian Krebs. Norton LifeLock announced Avira Crypto in late October of 2021, but, and this is a big but, multiple other antivirus products via VirusTotal, and I'll get to that in a second, have actually flagged Avira's installer as malicious or unsafe for basically including this crypto miner as far back as September 9th of 2021. Again, a month later, sometime in October, so a month or so, they essentially announced this, but they were already installing this in preparation, and it was getting hit by VirusTotal saying, hey, wait a second, there's a whole chunk. And if you go look on Brian Krebs' website, Krebs on Security, at this article, you'll see about I would say about 10 or so, maybe half a dozen to 10 different miners out of the 65, 75 that VirusTotal will rip this through, basically screaming with some sort of crypto mining infection. If you didn't know, VirusTotal is a service that's owned by Google that scans essentially any files you submit to it to automatically be scanned by dozens of products. It's very useful. So when somebody's sending me a PDF and I'm not sure about it, including things like my mother, if she's sending me something, I rip them through VirusTotal to make sure that they are secure. Obviously, there you go. Now, here's the thing. Some longtime Norton customers took to Norton LifeLock's online forum to basically express horror at the prospect of their antivirus product installing crypto mining software, regardless if it was turned off by default or not. Basically, as one person put it, and I quote directly, Norton should be detecting and killing off crypto mining hijacking, not installing their own. Now, in August of 2021, Norton LifeLock said that it had reached another agreement to acquire Avast, which is another longtime free antivirus product that also claimed to have around 500 million users. So between Norton 360, Avira, and possibly Avast, if they go ahead and give this the same treatment, and why wouldn't they? Why not? They're going to have over a billion, probably 1.5-ish billion people on the planet that could potentially mine crypto, and they are getting 15%. This is bonkers stupid. It's for a few reasons. I'm not knocking cryptocurrency mining legitimately here, but this move is stupid. And I will tell you why. First things first. Electricity bills can go through the roof as your computer works constantly to mine crypto. You're on your computer, let's say, the average user's on it, let's say 3 to 6 hours a day. Most of us are on mobile phones now. That means for the rest of the time, to like 18 to 20 odd hours of the day, this thing is on churning, cranking, consuming electricity, spinning all these things up. That's obviously a huge problem. And the second point is that this also taxes your computer system because your computer system has to work harder, especially your GPU, your graphical processing unit. Thus, you are possibly shortening your computer's lifespan. Again, these are not dedicated crypto mining rigs. If you're doing those kinds of things and you're setting it up yourself, more power to you. You know what it takes. You know the taxation. You know that you're going to be spending on electricity. What we are talking about here is grandma's home computer. You might have heard of cryptocurrency. It's not the same. Now, with that, there are also hefty fees involved in moving any Ethereum mined by Norton or Avira crypto to an account that essentially can cash them out. And many users apparently don't understand that they can cash this out until they earn at least enough ETH to cover the fees. And so by virtue of that, you might make a modicum of anything because, as you know, the more coins that are out there in a blockchain, the harder and harder it is, the longer and longer it takes. And essentially what they are doing, I think, is creating a confederated supercomputer here, if you can, with these hundreds of millions of users, if not more, to try and mine this as fast as they humanly can. And I will leave you with a direct quote from Brian Krebs, who I've already been quoting here. He's a great writer on this, and oftentimes he says things so succinctly in a way that I think just really cuts through all the red tape. And so I quote this, and I quote this directly from Brian Krebs. As mentioned in this week's story on Norton Crypto, I get that participation in these crypto mining schemes is voluntary, but much of that ultimately hinges on how these crypto programs are pitched and whether users really understand what they are doing when they enable them. But what bugs me most is they will be introducing hundreds of millions of perhaps less savvy internet users to the world of cryptocurrency, which comes with its own set of unique security and privacy challenges that require users to quote unquote level up their personal security practices in fairly significant ways. And he is 100% correct. This is grandma's computer. Those that are super tech savvy would never install Norton in a million years. And here we are. This is a huge problem that we have. And so I leave it at that because we are opening up security vulnerabilities for those that don't even understand cybersecurity in the first place by this move. Norton Antivirus and Avira are apparently making you less secure when they are promising the opposite. And that is your news of the day. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe, stay online, stay private, and please stay away from Norton. Thanks, everyone.